simple storytelling means for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Who's on the go? Whoa, let's start the show. Who's on the go? Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and we are here with you to share some information, some updates, and of course some recaps as we have had a very active week, an active term, and as we look forward to the other events which are scheduled for the rest of this term as well. First of all, I know that we have not had the chance during the past few weeks to update on scholarships, but there is a very important scholarship coming to a close in short order, actually in 3 days. And so for those persons who have been completing or who are contemplating submitting an application for the British High Commission UK Chevening Scholarship 2024-2025, I will give you the update on that one. That is the only open scholarship right now as far as the information I have. And remember, you can get information related to scholarships from the Ministry of Human Resources, the Social Security Building. You can reach out to Mrs. Jones-Liburd, you can reach out to Miss Griffin or Mrs. Murray-Gill, and they will be able to help you and answer any questions, and they might be able to share and give some insight even on opportunities that I may not have mentioned during each Saturday morning's presentation. And so the British High Commission's UK Chevening Scholarship 2024-2025, the Ministry of Human Resources wishes to inform you of the United Kingdom's Chevening Scholarship Scheme. The Chevening Scholarship Scheme provides individuals with the opportunity to pursue a 1-year fully funded master's degree program at a UK university during the 2024-2025 academic year, and comes with the following added benefits. 1. Fully funded tuition fees for your chosen university. 2. Living expenses for the duration of your studies. 3. Return flight to the UK. 4. Access to exclusive events across the UK. And 5. Joining an international Chevening network. The application process began on September 12th and it closes off this Tuesday, November 7th. So this is your last opportunity. You should be wrapping up. And to apply and to access additional information related to the scholarship, you can go on to www.chevening.org. That's CHEVENING.org, or contact one of the individuals there at the Ministry of Human Resources at the Social Security Building. I cited Mrs. Shelley Jones-Liburd, Miss Carissa Griffin, or Mrs. Shanola Murray-Gill, and they'll be able to help you, as I said, with this scholarship and any other scholarship that may be open. And so please, prospective students, I always encourage persons to try to take advantage of these opportunities. If you do not have to spend the funds, if you do not have to make that, even although it's an investment, if you can get an investment in your education through another source, that is also something that is very positive and that can help to take you forward. And so we encourage you to apply. The Department of Education, I encourage you all to apply to these scholarships accordingly. I also want to take this opportunity to extend some commendations, some congratulations to some of our students and our schools. We had a few activities this week, and I want to highlight the Energy Month quiz preliminary round. So the Ministry of Energy Atal on St. Kitts hosts and has hosted for a few years primary schools energy quiz. This year we had representation from schools on Nevis in the preliminary round, and the quiz is usually zoned, and so there were some schools who opted to participate in the preliminary round of the quiz, and the round was hosted at the Jessup's Community Center on Thursday morning, and our representatives on Nevis from Nevlec hosted that quiz, and the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School emerged the winner of the preliminary round, which makes them a finalist for the federal quiz. So they will come up against the winners in the various zones on St. Kitts for the final quiz activity. We look forward to the results of that, and we continue to extend wishes and best wishes to our students from EPPS who will be competing in that round. We hope that you are very successful and that you will continue to prepare and be as conscientious as you have been, which brought you to this space, as you go forward. We also look forward to the credit union quiz. There is a same structure set up as the Energy Month quiz, and schools have the option of participating in these various quizzes, and so some schools will be participating in the credit union quiz, which is a federal quiz and is part of the roster for our combined credit unions across the federation. And so the schools participating will have that competition at the Jessup's Community Center on Thursday at 9 a.m. and the winner from that quiz will go on to the final round, and the final round of course includes schools from across from St. Kitts as well as Nevis. So we look forward to that, and we encourage you all to support our students in these various endeavors as they try to show demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of the various activities and entities and subject matters associated with each of these quizzes. We also had football happening during the course of this week. On Wednesday we saw our primary school students participating in their quiz, the primary school's football quiz, happening right now, and it has been an exciting season, and we want to commend them for a job well done. And so, as per usual, we had our matches on Wednesday, and the students did remarkably well. We saw Ivor Walters versus St. Thomas's Primary, and that game was a draw, 1-1. The player of the game was Jaden Wilkinson of the St. Thomas's Primary School. We also saw a game between JLPS and Nevis Academy, and the score was 3-1 in favor of Joycelyn Library Primary School, and the player of the game was Samaro Arthurton of the Joycelyn Library Primary School. And so we want to commend them for that, and that, as I said, took place on Wednesday. Following Wednesday's games, we had our roster, or our score lineup, and so coming out so far, before I go into the games which took place yesterday, we of course know that we have a structure of two groups, Group 1 and Group 2, and so what I'll do is take you through the point standing to date so that you have a sense of where we are before I give you the updates on the games yesterday and of course those coming up this week. And so we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time time. Come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now it passes quickly. You don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio. It's you on the go. You on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, you on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go.
All right, let's go, and welcome back to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. And so, as I said just before the break, we currently have the Nevis Primary Schools Football Championship happening. It commenced on October 18th and is scheduled. The championship is scheduled to come to a close on November 18th. Okay, so let's look at Group 1. And Group 1 comprises of St. Thomas's Primary, VOGN Primary, CPS, Ivor Walters, and Maud Cross Prep. And then Group 2 comprises of Joycelyn Liber Primary, EPPS, Nevis Academy, and St. James Primary. And so in Group 1, St. Thomas's Primary, as of Wednesday, we had matches played 3, wins 1, draw 2, losses 0. And the goals for 5, goals against 2, goals difference 3, points 5. VOGN Primary matches played 3, number of wins 1, draw 2, losses 0, and so their total points up until Wednesday was 5 as well. Charlestown Primary at that point, matches played 1, wins 0, draw 1, and so their points to date as of Wednesday, point standing was 1. Ivor Walters matches played 1, and with 0 wins, 1 draw, and so 0 losses for 1 point displayed on their point standing as well. And Maud Cross Prep matches played 2, wins 0, draw 0, losses 2, and so their current point standing 0. Then Joycelyn Liber Primary School, matches played 2, wins 2, draw 0, loss 0, and so their point standing as of last Wednesday was 6. Elizabeth Pemberton Primary, matches played 2, wins 1, draw 0, loss 1, and their point standing was 3. Nevis Academy, 2 matches played, 1 win, 0 draw, 1 loss, and so their point standing was 3. St. James Primary, matches played 2, 0 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 2 losses, for a point standing of 0, and that was up to end of game last Wednesday, which was November 1st. Since then, we had a few games being played yesterday, and so we want to congratulate the teams which won yesterday. We had a player of the game, or let me start with the games. Joycelyn Liber versus EPPS, score 1-0 in favor of Joycelyn Liber. The player of the game was Ryan Mashan of the Joycelyn Liber Primary School. And then we also had Charlestown Primary versus Maud Cross Prep. The score 2-1 in favor of Charlestown Primary. The player of the game was Kashim Taylor of the Charlestown Primary School. Then we saw in the final game Ivor Walters versus VOJN, and that game ended in a draw, score 1-1. And the player of the game was Daniel France of the Violet O. Jeffers Nichols Primary School. And so we will be able to present the updated point standing to you, our listeners and our ardent followers. And we take this opportunity to also say thank you to all of you for supporting the students at the various games. It has been electrifying and exciting. And so we want to commend you, parents and the members of the community who have continuously supported our students, especially in the area of any sports-related activity. And so we want to thank you for your support each afternoon. We also say thank you to the coaches and all of the persons working with the students to ensure that they are prepared, but also to ensure that they are learning the importance of balancing their sports and academics. And in the end, we hope that these lessons learned at an early age will be able to be transferred to their various pathways and journeys. Some of them will become student athletes in colleges and universities, and the skills learned now will really be of great benefit to them going forward. We also have going on currently the federal football tournament, secondary schools football tournament. I'll speak to that in a bit. However, I want to inform you of the upcoming games for the primary schools football tournament. So coming up next on the 6th of November, that is Monday, and Monday is not a usual game day, so we want our listeners to take note. On Monday, we see Ivor Walters versus Charleston Primary School at 3 p.m., and then we see Nevis Academy versus St. James Primary at 3 p.m. So those two games are happening on Monday. We then go to Wednesday. On Wednesday, we'll see Maud Cross versus Ivor Walters, and we'll see Charleston at 3, and Charleston Primary versus St. Thomas's Primary at 3. Then on Saturday, we have semifinals happening. So this week is a busy week. On Monday, we have 2 matches. On Wednesday, we have 2 matches. And then on Saturday, we have the semifinals. And semifinals, we'll see the 2 top teams in Group 1 coming up against the 2 top teams in Group 2. And those games start at 6 p.m. So semifinal 1 at 6 p.m. We don't know who will go to the semifinals as yet. Semifinal 2 at 7 p.m. We are not sure who would go to the semifinals as yet, as we said, but semifinal 1, 6 p.m. on the 11th of November, and semifinal 2 on the 11th at 7 p.m. After that, we will have a break for 1 week, and we'll return for the 3rd place game on the 18th of November for the 3rd place game at 6 p.m. And the match for the finals will take place at 7 p.m. on the 18th. So as you can see, we have a few games lined up for the primary schools football tournament going forward, and we want to encourage everyone, as I said, to continue to support our students, to ensure that they feel your presence, they feel our presence, and they understand the importance of being student athletes, parents. We know that through sports, our students can be able to succeed, whether they decide to go the professional route and pursue one of these sports as a career, or they decide to go through the scholarship route and they're able to get a scholarship to get their academic goals met. And so either way, there are many opportunities for our students who are interested in sports and in any sport. We know that through these sports, we also have opportunities for our students to be officials, and that's one of the things that we have been speaking a lot about. It's not only the pathway for being a professional athlete, but many of our local athletes, past athletes, are now serving as officials, and in those capacities they are able to assist they're able to travel overseas, they're able to make additional funds, they're able to really start a career. And so we can identify several Nevisians who are acting as officials, not just locally and federally, but acting as officials regionally and in some cases even internationally. And so we encourage you parents to see the opportunities, but also, once again, I keep speaking about, and I can't say it enough and underscore the importance enough, of really finding that balance. Okay? And football does not end and the opportunities don't end at the primary school level. And so we are part of, for the first time, if not for the first time in a long time, if not the first time ever, in the federal secondary schools football championship that is happening right now as well. And we have some of the games taking place in St. Kitts, and there are some taking place on Nevis. And when they are taking place on Nevis, those games occur at the Mondo track. Okay? And so we've had a few which took place already. The next match is going to be, so on Monday we saw both teams, both high schools on Nevis participating. One team, Gingerland Secondary, played in St. Kitts, and one team played on Nevis. We continue throughout the course of this week, and so there will be matches taking place on Monday as well. And as I said, the matches which take place happen at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, which we refer to as Mondo Track. So please stay tuned and follow those matches as well, so that you can support our students who are playing in that level, in that arena. Okay, as we continue, we also know that we have various sports, not just which our students participate in, not just football and cricket and track and field, which are our traditional sports, but we also have students competing and participating in non-traditional sports for us locally, but of course they obtain even at the Olympic level. And so swimming has more recently become a very popular sport for us, and there are students who have traveled over the past few years to participate in swimming tournaments. And there is a Swim Fest happening this morning, and I encourage all of you to attend. The Swim Fest is called the Fall Swim Fest, and it is being hosted by the Nevis Aquatic and Sailing Center. It's a swimming competition which includes freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly races for swimmers ages 5 to 17. And you can go on over to OALI and watch and cheer on and see what the possibilities are. There are swimming programs which offer our students our children the ability to pursue swimming as a competitive sport if they see if they're interested, if they're inclined. And sometimes they wouldn't know that they're interested as yet, but as they continue to practice and they master the various techniques, they're able to do well. And so we see, as I said, they will have freestyle, they'll have backstroke, they'll have breaststroke, and butterfly races. And you realize that the swimming ages, the age spans from 5 to 17. So persons who are in kindergarten and as old as those exiting high school would be participating. And we wish all of the swimmers well, and of course the organizers, the Nevis Aquatic and Sailing Center. And this of course is a partnership, and so our Ministry of Education, Sports et al., through the Department of Sports, and of course with our affiliation through our students who will be competing, we encourage you to go on out and support them. And as you can tell, we have several things happening, as I said at the beginning of the show, and so I wanted to bring everyone up to speed with what is happening, and of course then take us forward into what will happen in short order. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. And I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and we're here on Saturdays to bring you updates, activities, anything that we can that can keep persons in the loop and help them to get a sense of what's happening not only within our Department of Education and Ministry of Education et al., but anything that affects our students and our young people. And so just happening this evening, and you know that we have a partnership with the Nevis Disaster Management Department, and for this year, each fourth Saturday of each month, we have seen 2 disaster ambassadors from our various schools. We started off the year and we've made it through, so we've seen landslides and volcanoes and tsunamis, and focus on each of the disasters that can potentially affect us here on Nevis. And that is only a component. So the one component is the Department of Education partnership through the schools, so the school-led partnership. And then we also have the faith-based partnership that Mr. Gumba spoke to us about in our first edition, which took place in January. And so this evening there will be an event as part of the activities for through the disaster management departments for us to build resilience. There's a concert this evening captioned Resilience, and so we will see several local acts and artists, and then of course we have a national artist and a regional artist also making an appearance. The event this evening is being hosted by the Nevis Disaster Management Department, NDMD, in collaboration with the Department of Community Development. The concert, as I said, is captioned Resilience, and is part of our efforts to build resilience, building a stronger and safer community with thanksgiving and praise. And this evening we will see local acts such as Steve Walters Jr., G-Band. The G-Band is the local backup band. So throughout you'll see the G-Band backing up our local artists. We'll also see Kiana Warner. We'll see Jahanaya Daniel, as well as Pastor Webb and Chazaria Taylor. So those are some of our local acts, local artists, and you see some of this. Our students, our younger students, are also singing and presenting this evening. We have M1 out of St. Kitts as well, and then there is Samuel Medas out of Guyana. And once again, this concert is captioned Resilience, hosted by the Nevis Disaster Management Department in collaboration with the Department of Community Development. As I said, it's happening this evening, Saturday, November 4th, 2023, and it takes place at the Cultural Village. Showtime is 7 p.m. We hope to see a bumper crowd out there supporting the efforts as we strive to build resilience through this medium and through working with our faith-based organizations, working with our various churches, and throughout, as per my understanding, throughout the evening, we would also hear disaster awareness messages coming through our local pastors, and of course representatives from SEDEMA will be there, and so it's a big deal. And we know that in everything that we do, we ought to give thanks and to give praise. And so I am encouraging you parents to take your children. This is a family event. This is a safe space that you can take your children to have a good time and also to learn some important lessons as it relates to disaster awareness. And I want to commend the team, the persons who are working behind the scenes to make this happen, the team at the Nevis Disaster Management Department. Of course, you all know that Jack Goomba works closely with us through our other initiative, which is affiliated with this one, and also to the team at the Nevis Community Development Department working, as I said, assiduously behind the scenes to make it happen. So be there. And I forgot to say something very important. This evening's event comes at absolutely no cost to you. Right? Of course, it says the event is free because it comes at no cost to you, but this event is not void of costs. And because it's not void of cost, it's important for the impact to be felt. And so please, if you can, we encourage you to go out and support the event and support the initiative. I know that throughout the year we've had persons from the Nevis Disaster Development Department working with the churches to bring the message and the awareness activities to the congregations in their church setting, and now they're taking it into a community setting, and it's very commendable, and as I said, an excellent initiative, and we wish the initiative and the activity the very best this evening, and we also invite you to go on out and to support and to join in this venture. That's Resilience this evening, Cultural Village, 7 p.m., and it comes at no cost to you. Take the children out and let them learn something. And something important and something that is beneficial to their growth and development. I think we have covered all but one. On Monday, we have some of our students participating in an activity. It is an activity which was postponed due to the inclement weather associated with Hurricane Tammy, but the Nevis Island Administration has partnered with the United Nations Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, and they're presenting a mega youth summit. On the ground, we see premier representatives from Premier's Ministry as well as the Department of Youth working to make sure that this mega youth summit takes place on Monday. They will have a wrap session on the SDGs under the theme Youth of the Federation, what can we do to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals? And we know that for many years we have been speaking about the SDGs. There are 17 targets, 17 goals, which are the goals of focus, and we have spoken about them for a long time. And in fact, I remember a few years ago when I was at the Department of Youth, we had 2 rounds of camp goals, and they focused on the Sustainable Development Goals. Those are the goals that were set after the Millennial Development Goals, and so they came into effect in 2015, and the aim is to achieve those goals by 2020. 2030. So there are 17 SDGs, and this conversation will take place around youth of the Federation. What can we do to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals? It takes place at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park on Monday, November 6th, and that was a rescheduled date from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. They will have the rap session, they will have games, they'll have giveaways, they'll have refreshments, and we have some of our students, some of our student ambassadors will be present representing their various schools. We have representation from the Charlestown Secondary School, Navy Sixth Farm. We have representation from Navy International Secondary School and the Gingerland Secondary School. I know it will be a conversation, and a very interesting conversation, and one worth the time and the effort, and we want to commend the persons working behind the scenes to bring it to fruition, because the SDGs are very important, and although they would not be able to focus on entirely on all of the SDGs, and you must have an awareness of all of them, but they might not be able to focus entirely on the 17 SDGs. They will zero in on SDG 2, which is zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, and quality education. At our office, we have a large role to play in reaching this sustainable development goal. In goal 5, gender equality, goal 8, decent work and economic growth, goal 11, sustainable cities and communities, goal 13, climate action, goal 14, life below water, goal 16, peace, justice and strong institutions, and goal 17, partnerships for the goals. All right, so we see an interesting day, an interesting activity ahead, and we say commendations to the students who have registered, and you will have the opportunity to work with adults within the community, young adults within the community, bringing your minds together. And what is the ultimate goal of this activity and this opportunity? To see what our young people can do, what contributions our young people can make towards reaching or realizing our sustainable development goals. And there is no doubt, as I said, that we will see probably a lively discussion and many interactive activities, and we hope that our students will be able to benefit, but not only benefit, they will be able to contribute effectively to the conversation, and also to perhaps giving suggestions towards realizing the goals. Okay, and for those who are not familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 goals put forward by the United Nations with the aim of reaching them by 2030. So what would happen at certain times, key times, we have been asked to give updates on the goals as a federation, as an island nation, and so at the various United Nations meetings and through the various submissions, we have a mandate to submit where we are in reaching out each of the goals. In fact, embedded in some of the work that we do is education for sustainable development, ensuring that we're working towards the goal. As I said, our goal of focus, although we contribute to all of the goals in some way, maybe on smaller measure, our goal is goal 4, quality education. And so there is a Sustainable Development Goal report that is issued every year, and so they have a progress report given every year, 2016, 2017, and there's continuous monitoring and evaluation of the progress in the SDGs, and each SDG is represented by an icon or a little image that will help to make a connection between the goal name and the expectations of the goal. And so that's happening on Monday, and we hope that we can hear some feedback and perhaps even give some feedback to you after it takes place. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. You on the go, whoa. Let's start the show, oh. You on the go, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh. Youth on the go. Let's start the show.
Let's go. Good morning. Good morning to our radio listeners, our viewers on Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and we have been bringing you some updates. We've talked about some of the competitions. We've talked about some scholarships, scholarship opportunities. We've spoken about the Mega Youth Conference, which will take place on Monday, and the swimming competition that's taking place today, the gospel concert happening this evening, hosted by the Nevis Disaster Management Department in collaboration with the Department of Community Development, and we hope that all of you can be in attendance. And now we're going to look at an activity that is coming up for us also as an education system in just about a week and 2 days from now. We know that last year we started with the inaugural edition locally of World Nursery Rhyme Week, and so we will be celebrating the 2023 edition of World Nursery Rhyme Week, and we're encouraging all schools at all levels to participate. The activity, the dates are the 13th to the 17th of November. On November 13th, day one, the nursery rhyme of focus will be 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. On November 14th, Hickory Dickory Dock. On November 15th, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes. On November 16th, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. On November 17th, The Wheels on the Bus. And we encourage our teachers and our parents at home as well to incorporate nursery rhymes into your day. As you look at the nursery rhyme of focus, you incorporate the nursery rhymes into your day during the course of the week. Sometimes our students are able to have extension activities in some schools. A nursery rhyme is assigned to various grade levels, and they're able to make presentations during assembly to share on the nursery rhyme. And so at different levels, we see different ways of highlighting the activities. Of course, last year we were able to also see some implementation even at the secondary level, and people often think, well, by the time you get to secondary school, why do you need to be talking about nursery rhymes? But there are so many things that you can do with a nursery rhyme. You can have them come up with a rhyme that is similar, or looking at the rhyming pattern and evaluating that, depending on the nature. For example, the wheels on the bus, you can have a physics lesson coming out of that, or you can have an engineering lesson coming out of that, a building and furniture technology lesson, so TVET lessons can come out of it. The visual arts and art and design can do something focused on the wheels on the bus and get the students drawing or presenting some type of activity on the Wheels on the Bus or on any of these activities, row your boat, you see some science coming out there as well. You always have a language and literacy focus. For 1, 2, buckle my shoe, we can see some math components coming out. We can see clothing and textiles coming out, and so we have so many opportunities, and there is always an opportunity to incorporate STEM into our nursery rhyme week as well. The students can build things, they can create something, teachers can create or show them through demonstration. So nursery rhyme week 2023 will take place. Day 1, 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Day 2, hickory dickory dock. Day 3, head, shoulders, knees and the toes. Day 4, row your boat. And day 5, the wheels on the bus. Nursery rhymes are important, and we encourage parents, and I hope that you have seen our attempt to incorporate nursery rhymes a bit more, even beyond preschool years, into the early primary years, because nursery rhymes are important. They are important to language development. They are important to our students' ability to start reading and improving and increasing literacy. And so there are several benefits to nursery rhymes, and we encourage you parents to really do some research on it and use your opportunities to help to teach your students or your children at home. Teach them the nursery rhymes, go through them, take yourself back a bit through to yesteryear, and you will see how much of a difference it makes in their language acquisition and development. And so nursery rhymes are important for language development. Like I said, when children hear nursery rhymes, they hear the sounds vowels and consonants make. They learn how to put the sounds together to make words. They also practice pitch, volume and voice inflection, because you generally, when you're saying a nursery rhyme, you don't keep your voice flat. You change your voice, your intonation changes a bit, and so that happens. And in addition to it, that we also see the rhythm of language, or hear the rhythm of language coming out. For example, listen to how you sound when you ask questions. Do you sound different when you tell a story? And so those are some of the conversations that you can have at home. Well, when you ask a question, does my voice sound the same when I ask a question as opposed to when I just said the rhyme? Is my voice the same? And children would say, no, your voice changes a bit, and we can talk about those changes as well. We expect to have those conversations in the classroom as well. In addition, in nursery rhymes, children hear new words that they would not hear in everyday language, right? So last year, Jack and Jill was one of our nursery rhymes of focus, and they have an example of some words they might have heard through that rhyme are fetch and pail. Usually, we know that instead of using the word fetch, we would hear go or get. So that's a new word, and we can introduce the concept of synonyms. Different words having the same meaning or similar meaning, right? Pail. Back in the day, persons talked about pails. Now we don't hear the use of pail as much, and so we can speak to children about that. A pail is like a bucket, it carries the water. And so you're introducing new vocabulary, you're teaching them new words, and persons often think that teaching something means that children have to sit behind a desk and sit up straight and write and look at the board. And no, you're teaching them through experience and exposure, and so they will be able to increase their vocabulary significantly. Nursery rhymes are short and easy to repeat, so it's not overwhelming for our learners, especially our younger learners and our struggling learners. So they become some of the children's first sentences. Cognitive development is also an important benefit of nursery rhymes. Since nursery rhymes are patterns, they help children learn easy recall, and memorization. Nursery rhymes usually tell a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Can you believe it? When we think of nursery rhymes, we think that's something really silly, but it does teach them, for most part, that stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Something happened at the beginning. If we think about Hickory Dickory Duck, it takes you through. If you think about Itsy Bitsy Spider, it talks about what happens first, then what happens next, and then what happens in the end, and then the students can add to it, so it helps them to get the concept of that. Nursery rhymes use patterns and sequence, so students begin to learn simple math skills through nursery rhymes. As they recite them, many rhymes also use numbers, counting, and other math words that children need to learn, such as size and weight. Nursery rhymes also introduce alliteration: goosey goosey gander, onomatopoeia, black sheep, and imaginative imagery. Children hear these rhymes and act out what they imagine the characters are doing. So far we've talked about language development and cognitive development, and you see there are so many benefits. I won't be able to talk about all of them today, but definitely I'm trying to get us geared up because we have a big week of nursery rhymes coming up shortly. Rhymers are readers. That is one of the things that we learned, that is very important, and that we want to share with parents. And so it helps even with physical development. Children develop their mouth and tongue muscles by using the different sounds in the rhyme. Okay, rhymes that involve movement help with coordination, and in dramatic play, children use their whole bodies to act out the nursery rhymes they hear. And let's talk, as we wrap up, about the importance. We'll talk about the social and emotional benefits, or social and emotional development. Sharing nursery rhymes provide a safe and secure bond between the parents and children. So parents, you're hearing that you have a role to play. Working together with nursery rhymes will help you to create a secure bond between you and your child or children. Positive physical touch between a parent and a child, or between children, for example, during clapping rhymes, is important for social development. Funny rhymes allow children to develop a sense of humor. Nursery rhyme characters experience many different emotions, and this can help children identify their own emotions and understand the real emotions of others. So when you ask them questions like, how do you think so-and-so felt when this happened? How do you think Humpty Dumpty felt when he fell off the wall? And they will say, probably depending on the age, you'll hear sad, and you can go on and say, well, have you ever felt sad? And they can talk to you about when they felt that way, or how did Humpty Dumpty feel? And they may say, well, he got hurt. And have you ever had a boo-boo? Have you ever gotten hurt? We use the word boo-boo, but we also make sure that we understand the expression is more of a colloquial expression, and so you take them back to, have you ever felt hurt? Have you ever gotten hurt? And they can talk about those instances and those examples. Right? When children act out nursery rhyme stories they hear, they learn to imagine, be creative, and express themselves. Nursery rhymes teach history, for example, Ring Around the Rosie, and connect children to the past. And so if you do some research, and as we try to help to create an environment for these conversations, we encourage you parents to provide some support as well at home. And when we look at activities such as Nursery Rhyme Week, that is not just something that's happening at school or something that's happening through the Department of Education, but it's something that's very important. Okay? And so we want to encourage you to start getting ready for that. And to try to ensure that your students are prepared. We are going to remind you, or we're taking this opportunity now to remind you to participate, support your children as much as you can. They look forward to seeing you. They're happy when you show up, and so we encourage you to support them. And we will come back next week with other updates and activities to share with you. Until then, we wish you a safe week, and we'll come back to you next week.